Hello, so today we are going to be stringing the mountain kit, and you should have your hammer nail block, your instructions, and your cover page. This is like your little cheat sheet. And you're also going to want to grab some scissors and have your strings. So in your kit, you have 3 different colored blues, and they are the same amount. So technically, if you want to switch up the order of your colors, you can. There will be the same amount of string for all of them. So this one in the back is this one is this one is that one. But you can switch them around, whatever you want. And I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, since it is the mountains with the layers, it's all the same steps, but you're going to want to do this back mountain first, this one second, and this one third. That will give you the, I can't think of the word, the look that it is farther away. There's a technical term, and I can't think of it. And then you will use the same exact steps for the sun too. So once I show you this section, you're just going to copy and paste for every single one. Okay, let's get started. So go ahead and grab the first string. If you're going to do the same color palette, it's kind of that middle blue. And what you're going to do is grab the end and tie a knot. I like to kind of tie a little knot in the air, like a lasso. And you can choose any nail in your section. So this section is what we're working with. And I'm going to just choose it down here. Whoops. Then you kind of just lasso the nail and hold it tight. You're going to want to tie one more knot at least, so the string is not coming loose. Okay. Then what you can do with this one is, if you have a little tail, trim it so it fits inside the shape. And this is the first step. You just kind of want to make sure that it is not going to come off. So once you have it attached, you're ready to outline. So I like to outline first, and you can do it just in a basic outline, which is holding it tight and wrapping it around. With my nails, sometimes it's a little harder. I don't usually have this long of nails. No, some people have super ones, but still getting used to this. Anyways, so you're gonna go ahead and hold it tight and just be wrapping around. You can skip a few at a time. You're just looping it and looping it all the way around. So that is your first pass. And this is totally fine. You do not have to do more than this. It's kind of fun because you can do as much or as little as you want, and it will still turn out the same, because it's basically like coloring. You can color any direction you want. But I'm gonna go ahead and show you, there is a way to make this line much thicker and pop more, and you can do it now or you can do it at the end. But it kind of just makes it finished and more of a solid look on the end result. So this was pass 1 on the outside. Then the second one is you go crisscross, side to side to side. Just crisscrossing, holding it tight so it doesn't unravel. Yeah, just crisscross, crisscross all the way around. And that is the second pass. Now you're gonna do the same crisscross, going around a third time, but you're gonna wanna kind of go back the other direction so that it is crisscrossing the opposite direction. So now it will look like an X in between each set of nails. Just like this. Make it kind of fun. Oops. What I love about this too, it is so forgiving, because it's not like paint scares me, because paint, it's, you know, a lot trickier to fix any mistakes, at least in my wheelhouse. That is not my forte. So string is very forgiving. You just unravel it and try again. So we just did the third pass and the second crisscross. So if you can tell, it kind of has that X going in between. You can kind of see it going around right here. Looks like an X in between. So next, we're gonna do the last pass, which is going on the inside, wrapping it around. Again, this is all optional, just depending on what you wanna do. I'm just teaching you how I do it and how I've kind of done it the last several years, because I like it this way. So it's definitely personal preference for sure. And we're just gonna go around, especially when it's a little section, it's easy peasy. So there we go. So this is your border, just kind of how you make it look solid and nice. See if you can get the X's in the video. Good there, but there you go. So the rest is even easier. The rule is you stay inside this section, but now you're just coloring any way you want. So I'm kind of in the middle of this section, honestly, but you just keep wrapping it. You can go up, down, side to side. You can kind of do a hatch pattern first, back and forth, like that, just to kind of fill it in. Just make sure you're kind of pushing them down and catching them on the nails. You can also turn your block just to make it a little easier. And I've done this standing up, but a table is definitely easier than trying to manage it on your lapper in the air. Okay, so you just kind of go back and forth, back and forth. Yeah, my little helper here. Okay. And so now I like to throw in more string than you need, especially with this small section. You will most likely have a chunk of extra string, and that's okay. It's just to make sure you have enough for this big section, and you can mix up the colors. So don't freak out if you see a whole bunch of extra string in there. It's normal, it's fine, you did it right. You did not do it wrong, I promise. So you just want to color it in, and this is where you can go crazy and just do as much or as little as you want, and that's it. Another tip as you're going, especially when you try and get with ones where there's multiple layers, what you can do is sort of use your fingers and push down all the netting around, and it gives you a little bit more space, because you can see there's still more. I pushed that down, but not the one on the right. So you can see you can push this down. It gives you a little bit more room to work with to add more layers of string, and it gives you more room for this mountain and this mountain. But that is basically it. That's all you gotta do. And then when you're ready, you just tie it off like you did in the very beginning with a double knot on any nail. Also, the border that we did in the beginning, if you have extra string and you want to, you can always do another border, or just like the wrapping around on the outer edge if you want. Again, just up to you, whatever you want, whatever looks good. And worst case, you unravel it and do it a little different. Okay, so here we go. Let's cross it over to this one. And see, I am gonna have a chunk of string left. So now from here, we're gonna wanna go ahead and cut the string away. Make sure you give yourself enough room to tie. And then hold it tight. Make your little loop lasso in the air. Choose your nail, trap it and pull. And then you are gonna wanna do at least 2. Sometimes I do 3. Just to make sure that it's not gonna unravel on you, because that would be very sad. After all that work and all that fun, to have it just come undone would be so sad. And then with this tail at the end especially, make sure you don't cut it too close. I'm gonna kind of cut it somewhat close. And then just use your fingers or the edge of your scissors to sort of tuck it into the pattern. And there you go, that is the first section. And you're just gonna repeat everything we did here on this one and then on this one. And this one is basically the same, just between here, it's like the border steps in between the rays of the sun. But if not, just stay tuned and I will show you how to string this if you want some extra help. There you go. All right, so now that we've done all of our mountains, and I just wanted to show you this is just a different way you can do it. A lot of string versus just less string, and it both looks great. But for the cute little sun up here, you're gonna do the same steps as over here. You're just gonna fill it all in. And then for each of the rays, so for each of the rays for the sun, you're gonna do what you did for your border steps. And it's basically a figure 8. So you're gonna wrap around it and crisscross. Okay? And then from there, you can move on to the next one. And you can do it in any order. So you can do it down, crisscross, and that. You can do the crisscross first. You can do it however you want, and then you just kind of work your way around. And if you want to do a couple layers of the rays, you can do that as well. But either way, that's all that it is. And then you tie another knot at the end, and then your whole kit is done. It's super cute. So you just keep going around and around. And definitely use both hands to help guide it. And then we're good. And kind of with all the other stuff, you can sort of play with it and see if you want to do a whole other border around here or just a simple one. And I do a lot of spinning and holding with my other hand just to kind of do that. Okay, so you could do the X's around. You have plenty of string, so you can go ahead and do a couple layers, but it's up to you. And then just remember, hold it tight. Make sure you leave yourself enough room to tie the knots without stressing. Just like here. Hold it tight. And this is it. And with your tail, just tuck it into the center. You are all done with your mountains, and yours most likely came with a spiral. I haven't added it on this one yet, but it has a little spiral, so you can go ahead and put a little picture in the display, and you're all good to go.